You're good to go, Mr. Eric.
Okay. Hello, Torrent Tigers. Welcome to another edition of TTN News 6. We're so happy to have you with us on this Wednesday, and we're going to get right into your news. We're going to start off with the Round Town local update with Miss Connie, This Day in History with Mr. Sam, Sports News with Mr. Eric, Local Weather Outlook with Mr. Charles, and Pop Culture Insider to finish off with Miss Ashley. Here we go. Miss Connie, are you ready?
I'm ready. Hi, everyone. Let's take a look at our pictures. We have the Mann House, the Ella Sharp Museum, the Railroad Museum in Grass Lake, the Children's Music, oh, I can't even read this morning, sorry. The Children's Museum of Virtual Activities, the, I have forgotten what they call the prison museum, but you can actually go in there and see what one of the housing units look like. And then there is the Waterloo Farm Museum here, where they have the houses and other outbuildings opened, and there's people reenacting how they would have lived in the early 1800s. And then there's a museum down there called the Old Carriage Shop. Anybody, and if you notice in the corner, I have Happy Mother's Day. That's kind of a hint. All of these places are right here in our Jackson area. And can you go to the next slide, Mr. Eric? They are free to everyone on Sunday. So if you're looking for something special to do with your mom or an aunt or some woman that's been special in your life on Mother's Day, you can go to any of these museums and get in for free on Sunday only. Oh, Saturday only. I can't read either. Sorry, guys. So don't wait until Mother's Day. Do it on Saturday for Mother's Day. Miss Connie really needs to go to bed and start over today. But I hope you take advantage of this. I know my family last year went to one of these museums and really enjoyed ourselves. And normally if you go to them, there is a fee to get in. So this is a special one day only this Saturday, May 8th from 10 to 4. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Thanks, Miss Connie. A lot of great options there. Definitely get out and celebrate the great ladies in your life. Moms, grandmas, can be aunts, can be anyone you appreciate. Show them you love them this coming weekend. All right, it's time to move on to This Day in History. Mr. Sam, take it away.
All right, we've got some great stuff. We got some hints around what we have. Let me see if you guys are seeing what I'm saying. Okay, I just added that last one. All right, so we'll go ahead and slide to our slide. All right, we've got a few women in our history for today, but we'll start off with a young man up in the top left in our red icon. Back in 1904, on this day, May 5th, Cy Young pitches the first perfect game in modern baseball history. Now, of course, Cy Young, he is a big deal. I believe he has an award named after him for the best pitcher, right? Yeah, that's the best pitcher award. Yeah, so that's
correct.
A real big deal. And of course, that was, we're looking at 96. So we got 126 years ago is what he, no, not 116 years ago is when he did that. So it's a pretty deal. Of course, a perfect game means that there were no hits by the other team while I was pitching, which is an extremely difficult task to do at any level of baseball. But with all that, we'll slide on over to our blue boxes where we have this lovely young lady. On this day in history in 1921, the perfume Chanel number 5 was released by fashion designer Coco Chanel. And of course, we see Chanel number 5 out there. I'm not sure if your parents wear any of that or a wife, girlfriend, niece, nephew. I know I don't think I've ever even smelled Chanel number 5, but I do see it on the shelves in most places that sell perfume and other jewelry, I guess, and fancy stuff. But as you can see, she is quite fancy. All right, and we'll go ahead. We'll slide on over to our purple section. This is another fantastic historical fact. I was able to do a little bit of digging, but on this day back in 1809. Mary Keyes is the first woman issued a U.S. patent for weaving straw. Now that means a patent, that means she has the ownership of that style weaving pattern. And located directly to the left of her is an example of that straw weaving technique. And of course, it was not only cool that she was able to gain her own U.S. patent, but she was the first ever American woman to be able to do that. So kudos, big step, breaking that glass ceiling all the way back in the 1800s. That's how we do it. So, and with that, we'll drop straight down to our, I think that's burgundy, I think I chose for this one. But on this day in history back in 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte was a French military leader and emperor of the French. So it's basically from 1804 to 1815. Well, he died on this day. And of course, he didn't die in the best format. He was exiled all the way to the island of St. Helena. He was relieved of his duties as the French emperor. He wasn't the best at that. And then, of course, he had passed away of stomach cancer, as that's at least what they say. So then with that, we'll bump it right on over to the left. We've got a couple birthdays. We got 2 birthday girls over here. We'll start with our orange box. We have on this day in history, back in 1942, Tammy Wynette. Her original name is Virginia Pugh, but her stage name, I should say, is Tammy Wynette, which was an American country singer. Well, it's her birthday today, which would make her, let me see, so 78 years old. She was made famous by her hit single, Stand By Your Man, which, Stand By Your Man. It's one of those songs that we at least know the chorus of it. I don't know the rest of the song, but one of those ones that always hang in your head. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, on this day, back in 1988, one of the best years ever, because that was the same year Mr. Sam was born, the singer-songwriter Adele turns 33 years old. So, yep, she is rolling in the deep. And I don't know, I don't have a good pun for that. You guys have anything? No? I mean, all right. So with all that, let's go ahead and jump to our next slide and check question. We're going to need our A and B cards here. So I will, let me see so I can see this. Question for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first perfect game in modern baseball history. Was it A, Sam the Teacher Avis? Oh, I have a typo at the bottom. That is supposed to be Cy Young. And the B slide, not Elvis the King Presley. Let me see if I can change that. Am I able to change that in present mode? Nope. Oh well. But that is what our selection are. So try not to pay attention to the labels underneath. It was either, basically, who pitched the perfect game? Was it Mr. Sam Davis or Cy Young? And I will look at our screen. Oh, I got something in the chat too. That's the only teacher. Yep. So what are we thinking? Now I've got to go and scan through because I'm not even able to see anybody. All right, we got, is that a B from Ash? B, nope, B from Destiny. Oh, Mir, I saw that you flashed up. Can you show me again what you got? Once I got over that screen and say, oh, I see. Excellent. And let me see. Oh, Molly, where are you, girl? There she is. What are you thinking, Molly? Yeah, I'll go with that. If you selected B, absolutely correct. That is a picture of Cy Young, the one and only Cy Young, not Elvis Presley, but he was the first one to pitch a perfect game in modern baseball history. And with all that is today in history. Back to you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Sam. Not positive on the history, but I think there's only been 23 perfect games pitched, somewhere around there in the history of baseball. And also blanking on the name, but I believe a pitcher from the Pittsburgh Pirates just pitched a perfect game, maybe in the last 2 weeks, to join that list. So pretty cool stuff and pretty rare at that. And speaking of rolling in the deep, Mr. Sam, thank you so much. We always get deep into the history with you, and we love it. We're going to move on to our sports news. A reminder, local spring sports are still underway. We've got some of the finals here coming up in the near history within about a month. Baseball finals, boys golf, girls golf in the UP. They have to wait till this time of year and late in the season to play golf up there. But boys lacrosse, girls soccer, softball is going on right now. Boys tennis, girls tennis, boys and girls field and track. So all of those coming up early June to mid-June for finals. We've got some end of the month here in the UP. So get out if you get a chance. Maybe you can get to some track and field, see a soccer game, visit some of the high school sports if you're able to. A lot of that is opening up more and more. So check that out in the county. Upcoming games. We're in baseball season, as Mr. Sam mentioned. It's been a rough one for the Detroit Tigers. As you can see there, they're on an 8-22 stretch right now. Not having the best season, but they've got a lot of time to turn it around. Hopefully they can. The last game last night was a 7-11 loss against the Boston Red Sox. You can see the Tigers playing here today at 7:10 on Fox Detroit, and also tomorrow at 1:10 on Fox Detroit. Tigers in the middle of 8 games in the last 7 days. So baseball, unlike a lot of sports, they play multiple times in a week, where maybe you might see 1 game a week for football or 2 or 3 for basketball. Baseball plays a lot more week by week. Generally, what you'll see is a 3-game series when you watch baseball. So the Tigers just played last night, the first game of a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. That's why you'll see the second game today and the third game tomorrow. And then they will switch it up and play 3 games with another team. This has a lot to do with travel and being in town. It'd be hard for Boston to travel to Detroit and play a game and then go the next night and play somewhere else. So they can come in town, they can stay for 3 days and play those games. So that's what we see in baseball. We typically talk about a series. When we get to the World Series at the end of the season, we'll have a 7-game series. So baseball is all about series. That'll move us into our sports quiz. Hope you're paying attention there. I want to know, which team will the Detroit Tigers be playing the next 2 days in the series? Is it A, the Chicago White Sox? Is it B, the Boston Red Sox? Or is it C, the Minnesota Twins? What do we see out there? I've got Molly. Molly's got her hand up. Molly, is that A, B, or C? What are you thinking? I think I got a B for Mr. Sam's room. Miss Ashley, B, Omir, waiting. Mr. Charles, and Miss is saying B. Who we got down there? Miss Connie's class is B. Mr. Dave said B as well. Destiny, B. Yes, you were paying attention. Great job. It is the Red Sox. The Tigers will have 2 more nights with the Red Sox, and then they will move on to actually play. Gosh, I think we're going to the New York Yankees. So look forward to that. Hopefully the Tigers can turn this season around and a few more wins on the board. We got to get that 8 column up. All right, that's the end of sports. It's time for Mr. Charles and our local weather report.
Hello there, everybody. Nice weather outside. Ready to look at this? Ready to check it out. So if you have your weather cards ready, I'd like you to either show me what you think the weather looks like outside, or you can take a peek out the window and oh, Miss Molly, I see you say cloudy. Nice job. Here, cloudy as well. Oh, partly sunny, it looks like. Cloudy from Destiny. Cloudy from Miss Connie's room. Nice predictions, everybody. Mr. Eric, if you click on that TV screen there, please. That'll take us to Jackson's weather for today. Currently, it is outside, and it's 47 degrees, which I would say constitutes a cool temperature. So those of you who said cool and cloudy, Omir, I would even say, the sun's probably gonna, if you look at this afternoon, right about in the middle of the screen, that sun is gonna peek up out from behind the clouds. So you guys all did an excellent job. Thank you. If you go back, Mr. Eric, please. We're gonna talk in the weather today a lot about what it means to be a weather watcher, because I know I come on here every other week and make being a meteorologist look very exciting. Well, you know what? You can do it too. So if you click on those binoculars there, Mr. Eric, we're going to watch a little video on what it is to be a weather watcher.
Okay, give me a thumbs up if we got volume here.
It doesn't look like it's playing at all.
Yeah, we're scrolling here for a second. Hang on.
We just all really love teaching.
Any volume?
Nope. Not on our end.
No volume.
Mr. Eric, you may need to share your volume again through Zoom. I think it's at the top of your screen, but I
I
can't.
just clicked on share sound.
Yeah, in your Zoom settings.
Welcome back to the fort. Squeaks and I are spending the day inside because it's raining. It rained yesterday too, and I remember that because I wrote it down in my weather journal. My weather journal is where I write down what the weather is like every day. Do you keep a weather journal? Well, you can. It's easy. Each day, just look out your window or step outside and see what the weather is like. Then you can write it down or draw a picture like Squeaks does of what you see. There are a few different like it is today, or sunny, when the sun is high in the sky and shining bright. Or when there's no sun but lots of clouds, that's cloudy. There's also snowy, when snowflakes fall from the sky. And windy, when you might need to hold onto your hat. Weather can be unpredictable. It's hard to guess what's going to happen next. It can be cloudy one day and sunny the next. But over long periods of time, weather often follows certain patterns. For example, it might be mostly sunny in the summer, but it might snow a lot in the winter. So depending on what season it is where you live, the weather might have a certain pattern. If you're in the middle of a season like summer, you might notice it's sunny and warm for 5 days in a row. That's a pattern. But if the season is changing, the weather might not follow a pattern that's easy to guess. Say if winter is ending, you might find that a few days are colder and windier, but then the next few days are sunny and warm. That's because the season is changing, going from a chillier winter to a warmer spring. That's why I like to keep a weather journal to see what weather patterns I can observe for myself. Scientists who study the weather every day as their job are called meteorologists. But you don't have to be a meteorologist to watch the weather where you live. In fact, all you need is a notebook, a pencil or crayon, and a thermometer. Besides going outside to see and feel what the weather is like, you can also look at a thermometer to find out more about the weather. This is a thermometer. It tells you what the temperature is outside, how hot or how cold it is. The higher the liquid is inside of the thermometer, the hotter it is outside. And the lower the liquid is, the colder it is outside. If you want to keep a weather journal like I do, then you might want to see if your family can get an outdoor thermometer to help you record the temperature. Then every day, you can look outside and write down what you see or draw a picture. Next, look at the temperature on your thermometer and write down how hot or cold it is. Just look for the line on the thermometer that's closest to the top of the liquid. That's your temperature. I like to write in my weather journal at the same time every day, right after breakfast. You can pick a time that works best for you and observe the weather at the same time every day for 5 days. After 5 days, look back through your weather journal. What was the weather like this week? Did you see any patterns? Can you guess what the weather might be like on the 6th day based on what you've seen already? Share your journal with your friends, and if you want, you can keep observing the weather for more than 5 days. If you watch the weather for, say, a whole month, you'll be able to watch the weather change. In fact, you'll probably see at least a few of the different types of weather that we talked about earlier. A mix of sunny, cloudy, and rainy days. And if you keep your weather journal for a whole year, you'll be able to see the weather where you live at its hottest and its coldest. And you'll have a list, either in your words or your pictures, of everything that happened that year. Then you'll know when the first snow of the winter was, and the highest and lowest temperatures of the year, and if it rained more some times of the year than others. So grab your notebook and get outside. It's time to watch the weather. Thanks for joining us on SciShow Kids. And remember, if you have a question for any of us here at the fort, let us know by leaving a comment or emailing us at kids@thescishow.com, and we'll see you next time.
That doesn't get you excited about the weather. I don't know what does. Or if you are a weather watcher and keeping a journal and you live in Michigan like we do, you could probably see all of those within just a few days, maybe hours. You go ahead and click on to the next page, Mr. Eric. I got a quick question for everybody. What tools are you going to need to be a weather watcher? Remember, a weather watcher, you look out the window and record the weather. Do you need a crystal ball, A, to determine what the weather is going to be? Do you need B, a Ouija board? Or would you need C, a notebook and a pen or pencil? What do you guys think? What tools are you going to need to be a good weather watcher? I see Lord Licorice is saying B, Ouija board. A lot of C's across the board. I see a C for Mr. Eric, Miss Ashley, Miss Connie's room, from Miss Destiny. What do you think, Amir? I see a flash of that there, Mr. Amir. Oh, C. Notebook and pencil. You guys are right. That is all you need to be a weather watcher. Just check out the window, see what the weather's looking like. You can either write it down or draw a picture. And if you switch over to the next page, Mr. Eric, I just have a few facts on what it means to be a meteorologist. Remember, a meteorologist is a scientist who studies the weather. They love studying the sky and understanding patterns that can help predict the weather. These meteorologists might work in a number of different places, such as an office, for a TV or radio station, which you see the gentleman in the bottom left there doing. They may also work for an airline to help predict the weather patterns for the flights that are going out, or they could even work for the government or for the military, specifically to look and see what kind of natural disasters are heading our way, and that way they can get the information out and help keep people safe. There's lots of special equipment that's used to determine the weather and alert people about upcoming storms. And weather tools can be incredibly simple, such as a windsock up top. That's that red and white device up there. It's just telling you what direction the wind's going, how hard it's blowing. A rain gauge is right next to that. It tells you, it catches the rain as it falls and tells you how much rain is falling in that period of time. Or it can be incredibly complex, like a barometer, which is that bottom picture there on the right. And what that does, it measures the atmospheric pressure. So it could be very simple or very difficult. So just a few interesting facts there about being a meteorologist. Thank you, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. I feel like meteorology falls into those categories of like an opinion quiz, or there are no silly questions, and you can just be whatever percentage you want of the time correct and still get by. That's awesome. Good for them. Oh, let's move on from the weather. It's time for pop culture with Miss Ash. I see something a little scary in the background there.
No, Mr. Eric, you spotted it. There is a new Cruella movie coming out. And so we have 3 posters that show all the previous editions that kind of have to do with 101 Dalmatians. Mr. Eric, if you can flip to the next page, I just want to give everyone a heads up. We're going to watch the trailer of the new Cruella movie, and it is a little scary. So if you don't want to watch, that's okay. Mr. Eric, will you hit play?
From an early age, I felt I was meant for more in this life.
On May 28th,
Why are you speaking? Get your desiccated little brain working.
witness the origin of Cruel.
I'm Cruella.
Disney's Cruella, rated PG-13, in theaters or order it on Disney Plus with Premier Access.
So in recent years, Disney has been doing remakes of original classics. And Mr. Eric, if you'll go to the next screen.
From an early age,
We will see their original remake of the first Dalmatians movie.
Coming to theaters this Thanksgiving. One of Disney's all-time animated favorites comes to life. 101 Dalmatians, featuring 101 of the furriest and funniest stars you've ever seen. Versus the meanest, nastiest, and most outrageous Disney villain of all, Cruella de Vil.
Poison them, drown them, bash them on the head. I don't care how you kill the little beast, just do it, and do it now! Take it!
Walt Disney Pictures presents Glenn Close in an all-new live-action motion picture event.
Look out!
101 Dalmatians.
So I think that was one of Disney's first live action remakes of a classic film. And if we go to the next slide, we're going to see the original trailer for the first film that has to do with the Dalmatians.
– 101 Dalmatians is here.
The puppies are here!
Puppies everywhere.
I know.
It's the classic story of a romance
Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm so sorry.
that led to a marriage that led to
15 puppies!
Why, you old rascal. That became a happy family.
Lucky, get down. We can't see. I'm hungry, Mother.
But someone evil wants those puppies.
Anita, darling.
Cruella
De Vil.
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. The world was such a wholesome place until Cruella de Vil.
She's gonna make coats out of us.
I worship hers. Oh, the puppies! They're gone!
Now, the dog napping of the century
A sound alert!
has become an all-out Disney rescue mission. Pump the double, man. Get them all, Boris. Get them all.
Fire one. Fire two.
101 Dalmatians.
We did a slip. Didn't we, Dad?
Critics and audiences have made it one of Disney's all-time greatest classics.
The little darling.
Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, and Good Morning America called it wonderful. On a scale of 10, this film gets 101.
101. All right, so Mr. Eric, if you go to the next screen, we're going to talk about the ratings. And as you can see from the trailers, the
101.
movies changed quite a bit from the original movie, which is rated G for general audience. Which means basically everybody can watch, and it came out in 1961, which is older than all of you. It's maybe mom and dad's age, give or take a little bit, maybe older, a little bit older than your mom and dad's. The first live action remake came out in 1996. It was also rated G for general audiences, but our new one that is coming out is rated PG-13, which means that parents are strongly cautioned that you should be over the age of 13, and a parent should probably watch it first or watch it with you, because it's not going to be a movie that necessarily everybody should be watching. So, Mr. Eric, will you go to the next slide? We're going to finish off with some questions about the films.
That little guy in the bow tie there looks like he might be trying to sneak in or something there, Miss Ashley.
Naughty. Okay, so what do you guys think of a classic movie being made into like a more adult movie, or a movie that's a little bit scarier? What do you think? Do you like it? Yes or no? Oh, I'm seeing mixed answers. Miss Kasha and Miss Margaret said no. Mr. Eric and Des say yes. Lord Licorice is in between. Molly says yes. Mr. Charles says yes. Miss Angela and Denise are saying one's a yes and one's a no. Okay, one's a yes and one's a no. And Omir is a yes. Okay. So it's kind of different. It's kind of like the movie grew up with some of the teachers, because that movie came out, the new live action one came out when some of your teachers were kids. So Mr. Eric, if you go to the next slide. Miss Connie, quit laughing at me. I think half of us were in elementary school as teachers. Miss Connie's laughing at me, guys. So what do you guys think? Will you see the new Cruella movie, even though it's rated PG-13? Are you guys going to see it? I see no's from Miss Kasha and Miss Margaret. I see yes from Destiny. I saw Molly flash that yes real quick. Mr. Eric's a yes. Mr. Charles is a no. Lord Licorice is a yes. All right. Miss Angela is a yes. All right, so we'll see. Mr. Eric, if you can go to our last and final slide, we're going to talk about May birthdays. And you guys, we have tons of May birthdays. We owe some belated birthdays to our friends Nikolai and Andy, who had a birthday on May 1st. Mr. Charles, we missed his birthday, you guys. It was on May 2nd. Miss Connie and Mr. Eric's room had a birthday on May 3rd. So we all, if you see them, make sure you say happy belated birthday. Coming up tomorrow, Kaden has a birthday. Kayla has a birthday on the 8th. Miss Denise and David have birthdays on the 15th. On the 16th, Lucas has a birthday. On the 20th, Destiny has a birthday. And on the 26th, Julia has a birthday. And finally, on the 27th, Mr. Marshawn ends our month with a birthday. So if you guys see any of our friends coming up, make sure you tell them happy birthday. We guys hope you guys all have the best celebrations from all of us here at TTN 6 News. Mr. Eric, that's it for me.
Wow, thank you, Miss Ashley. Exciting month ahead of us. A lot of great birthdays coming up or passed already in May. So that is great. We hope the weather continues to get better, and we hope the Tigers start winning, and a lot of great things coming up for the rest of the month of May. So again, we appreciate all of you joining us today. Thank you to your teachers for lining up all this great information, and thank you to you all for being here to share it with us. We just want to remind you, as always, head out there in the world, Tigers, and always roar. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.